All right, folks, we are back in the 5 on your side Weather Center. Going to stick with you a little while longer while we track these showers and thunderstorms through the area. Nothing severe. We had a couple of warnings tonight. One initially was way up in Pike County as everything was getting going. That was around 7 o'clock. And then we had that other warning just before 10 o'clock with a storm that just really started to get its act together across portions of Macoupin County. And it looks like southern Macoupin County probably took the brunt of that with some gusty winds. Now, all of us that have been impacted by this rain this evening have pretty much had a tremendous amount of lightning, and it's been a pretty noisy night. There is no doubt about that, and it still is as we're tracking these storms across the area. Look up to the north. There's another big batch that's now moving out of Greene and Jersey counties and is surging east out along portions of Macoupin County and stretching into Montgomery County. That could have some gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour with it. Certainly it has more heavy rainfall. That's pretty much the last of the substantial rain that is to our north and northwest. You look around the metro area though, and we've had this area sliding on through, still is. In fact, out in Wildwood, incredible amount of cloud to ground lightning ongoing there now. Also, South St. Louis County stretching over into St. Clair County. Just to kind of give you an idea of the amount of cloud to ground lightning with this right now, if we just look at this one cell that is out here in Wildwood and then stretching down into northern portions, very far northern portions of Jefferson County. In the last 15 minutes, just in that small area highlighted, that's 152 cloud to ground lightning strikes. 152. That is incredible. Now we look at this area. Let's go South County and let's go over across the river into St. Clair County. And so here, that's 359 strikes in the last 15 minutes. Tremendous amount of cloud to ground lightning ongoing around the St. Louis area right now. In fact, as you look in downtown St. Louis, here's a picture from our downtown Skycam looking over towards a Dark Bush Stadium. But you can see the flashes of lightning that are ongoing there right now as these storms roll through. Again, emphasis here, nothing is severe. They're strong, they're noisy, they have some heavy rainfall. In some cases, there are some winds that are gusting 40, 50 miles per hour in the strongest storms perhaps. But for most of the storms, it's just a lot of noise and a lot of quick hitting rain and those flashes of lightning. And this is sliding. You look at this in South St. Louis County going into northern Jefferson County, how these storms are just kind of developing, moving towards the south and now southeast. And so this area is going to slide right down Interstate 55. I think you'll take the worst of it north of Cedar Hill, although they'll probably backbuild towards Cedar Hill in the next 15 minutes and get over towards Highway 21. And then you're going to be talking Arnold, Imperial, Kimmswick. You may get lucky in Peevely and these storms stay just to your north, but boy, you can sure see a lot of the lightning, and I suspect you'll likely see some of that rain get into the Peevely area as well. Waterloo, you're going to be in for it here in the next 10 or 15 minutes as this area that's been over in St. Clair County is progressively marching on to the south, if not a little southwest here, with the cold front itself that's pushing across the area. Earlier this evening across Carlisle Lake, we had quite the thunderstorm. That complex that's gone through Belleville now was over Carlisle Lake. There is another one with a pretty good amount of lightning over Carlisle Lake at the moment. North side of the metro area starting to slow down and ease up a little bit, going from St. Charles County back up into Lincoln County. So we're finally starting to see some of that lightning ease up and the rain letting up as well, although there is still some ongoing. Then we have the heavier rain going up towards Carlinville, over here towards Farmersville. You'll get in on it here shortly. Most of the heaviest rain will stay south of Verdon with this, but it'll go through Litchfield over to Hillsborough, Illinois, and perhaps slide through Nokomis. Greenville, you had some earlier, and now it's all around you, so there'll be more to come before the evening is done. More thunderstorms are developing across southern portions of Illinois. And then we look out to the west. There's not really a whole lot left west and north of St. Louis. The front's coming through. This is not the prime time when we would normally see intense thunderstorms because you lose the heat of the day. And so at this point, we've lost the heat of the day to some degree, But it stuck with us until that front came through, if not the actual cold front itself, the gust front from the thunderstorms, because we were still at 90 degrees tonight with a dew point of 80 at Lambert at 9 o'clock. That's miserable, absolutely miserable, but that's the kind of air that's fueling this. And I tell you, if we had jet stream winds aloft that amounted to anything other than a gentle breeze, which is what's up there right now, these storms would have been incredibly horrible tonight. We would have all kinds of damage going on, but we don't have any winds aloft. So they've basically been getting whatever forcing they can and using whatever energy they can come up with, and they're not really adept at producing a lot of really bad weather. Rain, yes. Some thunder, lightning, actually a lot of it, yes. But I think this is going to slide on by. Haven't heard any reports of any flash flooding. I'm sure some poor drainage areas have had some issues, you know, minor, but no big flooding problems. And as long as everything keeps moving here over the course of the next hour or so, I don't think that's going to be a big concern. So you can see this marching through South St. Louis County, down into northern Jefferson County right now, across the river, the JB Bridge, heading over to Columbia. Most of the heavy rain now sliding south of Cahokia Heights and over towards Belleville down to Smithton and Freeburg. Some of that heavy rain falling there, and just a tremendous light show moving into High Ridge. You know, this area down in northern Jefferson County, hilly terrain, Haney Springs, Scottsdale, Antonia, you're looking at a lot of lightning that's coming in with these thunderstorms, and you will get a quick downpour. It won't be anything like what you saw down in this area last Sunday morning where we had several inches of rain. This, while it rains hard, it won't last for an extended period of time. So that's our update here. It's now 11 minutes after. We're probably going to just take a quick little gander at what the temperatures look like across the region. And I'll show you, you can really tell we're down to 76 now. Chicago at 71. How about Grand Rapids down to 68 right now? But if you're on the flip side of that front, it's still around 80 in Springfield and Cape Girardeau, and it is still incredibly humid in those areas as well. So, we're dealing with that here tonight as that front pushes through. We're getting some rain, a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. Boy, is it noisy out there if you're under one of these thunderstorms. But the good news is they don't seem to be lasting too long. We have had 0 reports of any damage tonight so far, and hopefully that'll be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a scattered power outage here or there because of lightning, and lightning and wires don't necessarily go together all that well. But, that's just the way it is, right? But we're not blowing over power lines. We're not blowing over trees. Even if we get some brief gusty winds with the storms, they're not that strong. So this is an idea of what it'll look like, in about 45 minutes or so. And this is a little overblown, but it's a general idea. It's kind of like your frozen food serving suggestion that's on the package of that frozen food dinner that you picked up at the grocery store that looks so good, and then when you open it up, it's not really exactly like that picture. So this is just kind of like that serving suggestion picture. This is in theory what it might look like, a simulated radar picture, if you will. And the trend to notice here is that between midnight and 1:30, and I think this process is really already beginning to start, you see the rain really start to diminish across the area. And I think that's a trend we're going to have, and things will settle down here very late tonight. And we'll wake up tomorrow morning to a variably cloudy sky. It will be in the 70s. It will be cooler. Here's kind of the run through if you missed the 10 o'clock news tonight. We're looking at this front stalling out to our southwest, and it's not going to move a whole lot this weekend. And we'll have disturbances that kind of run up around this front and to the north of it. So overnight, Friday night into Saturday, our anticipation is we'll have some more rain moving in, and some of that rain could be heavy at times, and that's going to stick around through lunchtime on Saturday. We think pretty widespread early on Saturday for the rain and some thunderstorms. Don't think there's a real big chance of severe weather here, although 1 or 2 storms might be a little intense, but thinking rain and heavy rain might be more of a thing to worry about. And then by the time we get into Saturday at 5 o'clock, we are at that point looking at things starting to dry out. So I think we are going to make some progress here in terms of these storms and getting them out of here pretty quickly. And with that, progress in getting the cooler air in here. And I know for a lot of people, you're you're looking at the weekend thinking it's the weekend, and I know we all want really nice weather on the weekend. But I'll be honest with you, 79 degrees sure seems nice. Granted, it comes with rain, especially Saturday morning. But shoot, I think I'll sleep in. Maybe you have that chance on Saturday morning to sleep in. Not everybody does. Some people have weekend things you have to, just flat out have to do, and you have to be up and be out, and some of us work on weekends. I know all about that, the crazy shifts we work. We do that here at 5 on Your Side. So Saturday's really our unsettled day, but I'm going to try to sleep in, to be honest with you. And it probably won't be much above 70 through the entire morning hours, until the rain starts to let up. Late in the day, it'll get to 79 for the high. And then we're in the 80s here. So we start the month of August with temperatures that will be a bit below average for St. Louis. So I think that's pretty incredible that we're going to be in that kind of time frame here going into August with highs in the lower 80s. Not unheard of, but not exactly what you think, as we're getting into these dog days of summer. So you're looking there at the radar pictures of these clusters of showers and thunderstorms. Just going to check one more time here. I just turned my little ping over here on Weather Service chat. So over in, an aerial flood advisory for Calhoun, Greene, and Jersey County, which certainly seems reasonable. We don't have a lot of reports of the rainfall totals just yet. We'll get some in a little bit, but outside of that inch or so in Fosterburg, haven't heard of any actual accumulations that stand out. But the rain, these are very efficient rainmakers. There is no question about that. And sliding on to the south. So there could be some minor flooding problems. It's nighttime. You don't want to drive into water that's over the road. We don't know how deep it is. You don't know if, the road's been washed out underneath. You just don't have any idea. So if you happen to be heading out tonight in these areas where there's still some ongoing heavy rain, or has been in the last hour or so, if the water's covering the road, you don't want to drive into it. It simply is too dangerous. Here's a look over towards Busch Stadium again with our downtown sky cam, and you see those flashes of lightning that are ongoing, and the fact that we continue to see the rain across the metro area. Although it looks like it has let up somewhat at Lambert. Still some light rain, but not to the extent that we were seeing earlier. So that's, in a way, that's good news. We needed some rain after this hot week. Today, the peak heat index, if I calculated this right, the high temperature today was 97 in St. Louis, and it occurred, I believe, at 129 or 139. At that time, the dew point was 77 degrees, and that gave me a heat index of 113 degrees. I mean, it was miserable this afternoon. So at least this heat wave did not last for an extended period of time. You remember 2012, where we had all those 100-degree days, several in a row. So nothing like that. These storms are just trudging on to the south here, marching through Jefferson, northern Jefferson County, over into Monroe and St. Clair County. No indication really here of seeing severe weather, but there are some cell mergers ongoing here, and there's some boundaries kind of colliding in there. So we're just kind of watching it. We just wanted to stay here a little longer with you this evening just to make sure that we could get these things out of here in time tonight so as to not create any problems. We don't want the storms to create any problems for you. And certainly it looks like the trend is for them to weaken somewhat. And all of this is going to slide away. I really think in about an hour, hour and a half, things will settle down immensely across the area. So it's coming up on 11:20. Seems like I've been rambling on forever about the same thing, really. But, if you're south of St. Louis, Be prepared. You know, I don't know how much sleep you're going to get until these storms actually die down and they stop producing the amount of lightning that they are producing, because it is lit down in Jefferson County as well as across in Monroe and St. Clair County. These storms just loaded with lightning. You get the heavy rain. It lasts for about 20, 25, 30 minutes, and then it will tend to let on up. So that's what we're going to be dealing with here for the next hour or two. You know, I'll be right here at the 5 on Your Side Weather Center. We're going to be making sure that these storms behave. Don't get too rambunctious. Don't start causing damage or anything. And as long as they start and continue their weakening, you know, maybe in an hour or so, I'll get to go home too. Anthony Slaughter will be here bright and early tomorrow morning. In the meantime, you can always flip over. There'll be more Olympics coming up after, let's say, in about an hour or so, some overnight Olympics. And of course, tomorrow, we got more great stuff coming up. I don't know about you, but I get glued to it, and it's really hard to stay focused, you know, doing your job while you're trying to watch these athletes do crazy, amazing things that I could never even dream about doing. So anyway, we'll leave you with the last look at the radar for tonight. You can always track anytime with the 5 on Your Side app or at ksdk.com. But I'm going to let you go and start tidying up the weather office here for Anthony so he doesn't have any problems when he comes in early tomorrow morning. Y'all have a good night.